So, welcome to another episode of Dos and a Half Cincos, episode number 59. This week we covered Timecrimes as part of That's What I Call Cinco's foreign movies, as well as Street Sharks Season 3, episode 23. But before we get into that, as always, I'm your host, David.
And I'm Stuart.
And I'm Ben.
I still can't get over how good Ben sounds right now, but all right.
I'm over it. I've been over Ben.
I'm not. I'm going to listen to this and just think back on the good times.
Dude, I can hear him percolating on the other hand already, thinking about himself.
Like percolating, like he's gonna shit himself, or
I don't. Ben, what did you eat for dinner? Why are you shaking so much?
That's what I envision when someone says like I'm percolating, like they're about to shit their pants or something.
Oh. So you imagine actual like a coffee maker percolating?
Yeah, yeah.
I was just thinking it was just shaking with anticipation, but so there's a couple of things that have come up over the past week, but I just wanted to check in with you guys. Did you guys watch anything else besides our movie of the week, Timecrimes? Or, Ben, what's the Spanish translation for it?
Something about tiempo and crimes.
Jimenez tiempo. Jimenez tiempo.
Del
taco tiempo.
So I know, Stu, you were out of town, so you probably had some, travel time watching some other stuff besides our movie of the week and Street Sharks. Did you see anything else?
I did. I downloaded a couple episodes of the Last Dance onto my device and watched that on the flight. Only got 3 episodes in, but I realized I forgot that I didn't download anymore because I'm stupid. Yeah, I was watching. I was like, oh, okay. I see what's happening.
So now you are starting to get some of the references. There was a report, speaking of The Last Dance, that last season, Rondo was brought on to be able to kind of, I don't know, not coach LeBron, but kind of like show him like how he needs to interact with Lonzo, with Kuzma, and with the younger guys like Josh Hart and Brandon Ingram. Because they all saw him as kind of like Michael Jordan. They're Michael Jordan growing up. And so, like, now that you've seen several episodes of The Last Dance, like, you saw how hard Mike was on, like, all of his teammates, right?
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of, like connection between that. So I thought that was really kind of interesting, where there was this article that came out talking about how Rondo was brought in last year because he needed to be that veteran voice that kind of bridged the gap and showed LeBron how to like interact. And then of course right after that they traded all of them to go get Anthony Davis, and now they're in the finals. So
and now we got playoff Rondo, so
that's a win-win. Right. Actually apparently he did not a huge fan of that, of being called playoff Rondo.
It's too bad because it's true.
I know, it's like night and day. So we are recording this on October 5th, and game 4 is tomorrow, and I can already tell we're going to have a very fired up team because they did not play up to their strengths. Yeah,
they were not fired up yesterday.
That's true. But like Stu, like you always mention, right? Every series it seems like they need to get kicked in the teeth before, or in the junk before they wake up and they realize, wait a minute, we're the Lakers.
Against Portland, everyone thought Portland was going to like dethrone the Lakers after winning the first game, and then what happens? 4 straight. And then the same with the Rockets. Oh, the Rockets they got James Harden, and then they win the first game. Oh, the Lakers are in trouble, and then 4 straight. And then the Nuggets, they just took out the Clippers, which fuck the Clippers, by the way. And they're so good. And then what happens? Gentlemen's sweep for each series. So.
Mm-hmm.
So I am kind of anticipating a similar situation here, but I mean the Heat can be a little scary sometimes with.
They can go long stretches where they're just like locked down.
Yeah, or they just like hit all kinds of shots, and it's just
Dude,
ridiculous.
I didn't realize Tyler Hero was that good.
Yeah.
Or just kind of like out of
yeah.
nowhere. I had no idea.
I think it's that bubble effect for someone like him because
There's no crowds. There's
Yeah.
no, like less pressure. Like there's
Mhm.
less like the lights aren't as bright kind of situation.
yeah, and I think it was the same with like Jamal Murray and probably a couple of the young players,
Donovan Mitchell and stuff like that.
Donovan Mitchell. Yeah.
Got it. What about you, Ben? Have you seen anything else this week?
Well, aside from seeing the Lakers get their ass handed to them yesterday, I got to see this movie called Chopping Mall. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
Is that a movie? Is it a horror movie
Yeah, it is.
where you go to get chopped?
I don't even know why they call it Chopping Mall because no one was chopped.
Not a single person was chopped.
Yeah, no one was chopped. So why'd they call it Chopping Mall?
That sounds like a disappointing, very misleading. Oh wait, you know what? I think I saw a preview for this. I think is this where like they're in a mall and there's like a robot,
There's 3 robots.
like a
I
security
like the
robot.
buildup of this, where Stu, you kind of know what it is, and then as you're telling it, I can tell Ben's like smile on the other side is getting really wide. What is this? Can you guys fill us in who don't know? Obviously, of course, since I'm the host of It's a Movie podcast, of course I know. But for the other people who don't know,
Okay.
yeah, can you tell us what it's about?
Okay, imagine that the Galleria in LA decides to get the state-of-the-art security system in the form of 3 robots. Now imagine these robots, for some godforsaken reason, have lasers and guns.
Because why not?
Because why not?
I'm not gonna buy a goddamn security robot that doesn't have goddamn lasers on it. All right.
Who does that?
Now imagine that these robots have a serious security flaw that when the building is struck by lightning, they just become sentient and just start killing everything in the mall.
Wait, isn't this an episode from The Simpsons where flash photography causes all the itchy and scratchy machines to start killing people?
Yes, that is actually correct.
Oh wow! So Simpsons actually stole something from someone else.
Yeah, but they made it better because those robots actually had axes and chopped things.
Oh, it's okay. Simpsons do it because they make it better.
They did. Thank you, Stu. I'm glad you're.
Wait, what year? What year is Chopping Mall?
It's in the
80s. It's like an 80s movie.
Yeah. No, this is like the epitome, or it is a good example of an 80s slasher flick. I mean, we got teens. They're just sneaking out, getting drunk. There's titty flashing everywhere.
Oh, okay. Now I gotta watch it.
Following up with Porky's with Chopping Mall. Let me guess. Was this Sam Trunk 2000?
No, but go fuck yourself, Sam Trunk 200.
I feel like that number gets higher every time David tries
it's
to.
It's going to be 20,000 by the next
Sam
time.
Trunk 2 million. That's the Sam Trunk 2 million.
2 million.
Dun, 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 dun.
The Sam Trunk 2 million. All right. Okay. So what was your thoughts on that? Besides, it just kind of goes in line with very similar nostalgia. You guys are going like really far back. You guys are going backwards via movies, right?
Kind of.
You guys did 2000s, 90s, now 80s. Like, are you guys gonna watch some 70s movies and eventually get to like Casablanca?
Because the 70s suck.
I don't know. I mean, 70s had Star Wars.
Yeah, that was like the one thing, but really that was ahead of its time, so it really doesn't count.
It had Alien.
Because it's in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
It had Alien. Everyone likes Alien.
Dude, they had a lot of like James Bond movies, Moonraker.
Yeah, but the 70s, everyone's sweaty and has that disgusting like
body
fro,
hair,
like the fro thing, like white guys with afros. It's like, oh god.
Godfather's also in the 70s.
But Stu, I'm sweaty right now, and I have a white guy fro.
Oh god, you're the worst.
All right, well, this is the last time that we have Ben on the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
That's all I can think about the 70s. Every time I see something from the 70s.
Also, for me, I just wanted to make mention, since Stu, did you have a chance to catch up on The Boys yet?
Ah, shit, I have not been
God
watching it.
Oh,
Wait, did you
Okay.
catch up on it, David?
I'd have, and I wanted to
Okay.
ask a question.
Welcome to the
but I
boys
don't-
spoiler section. Where we talk about the boys and all the spoilers associated with it.
I just,
Wait, how
I
many
just have
episodes
two
are out?
words.
Right now.
I just have 2 words. Pop,
The
pop.
boys.
Just
Oh.
want to know.
What? How many episodes are out right now?
7. Season finale is coming up this Friday.
What? That's so quick.
It's only 8. It's only
That's
8.
whack. They need to stop with this like 8-episode season, less than 10 episode season bullshit. For all shows, any show, like knock it off.
Do better.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
So, what was your
Um,
favorite spoiler, David?
My favorite spoiler is
Why don't you just wait till we have the season's over and then we'll have a season wrap up?
Butcher's
Okay,
dead. All right, next.
Okay, I
So-
think I made that joke already.
But it's
Yeah,
true this
joke.
time. It actually you spoke it into
Oh,
existence, Stu.
Okay, it's a retroactive spoiler.
But yeah, no, I think there's one thing I wrote down that I wanted to talk about, but since Stu has not, I will not bring it up. It's in relationship to like apparently the comic. What is it called? Graphic novel. Sorry.
Oh,
Get it
let's
right.
Not talk about that. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah. So all right, I'll leave that. As a note. We'll wait till after the season's over, and we'll make sure to catch up with Stu once he finally gets around to it. So all right, I'll go ahead and skip over that.
I mean,
We'll
I'm not
start-
so like I haven't been watching it. I'm only like four or 5
episodes behind. That's half a season.
No.
That's literally how it is. That's-
Like 4 or
I
5
don't-
behind. I'm like, dude, there's only 8.
I just haven't watched season 1, episode 1 yet. All right.
A couple of episodes behind. It's fine. What episode are you on? Season 1 to what?
I saw the teaser.
I almost started season 1, episode 1.
How do you feel about people who don't actually go through the entire first season and just kind of watch the recap from the beginning of the season 2?
They're monsters. Anyone who does that.
David,
Oh yeah, I'm a
monster.
huge fan of. I couldn't remember the name of the guy who's like is he the president of VOT? Who's from Los
Gus
Pollos
Fring?
Hermanos? Uh huh.
Gus Fring.
Yeah, but what's his name in the show?
Gus Fring.
I-
Oh, sorry. Gustavo.
No, because I was over at Irene's for dinner yesterday, and me and her brother were talking about it, and I just kept referring to him as the guy from Breaking Bad. He was like, I know what it is. I was like, I can't remember his character's name except for I was like Los Pollos Hermanos, and then
Yeah, Los Pollos Hermanos
yeah,
guy.
so that just became a thing every time we repeated it. But yeah, we're very very interested. Season finale is coming up this Friday, so if you haven't had a chance yet, definitely get caught up. So
All right, I'll catch up. I'll find next week's Monday, and we'll talk about it. Jesus.
oh no. After Friday, me and Ben are just gonna be spamming the crap out of you over text.
Okay, well,
Oh my god, I can't believe it came
Fair enough.
true. Butcher's dead.
we spoke it. We said it like a Bloody Mary 3 times in the mirror. And it happened.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and just shark dive into Street Sharks. Season 3, episode 23. I believe we have 4 more after this. In this one, winter has hit Fission City, and it
Winter.
doesn't sit well with their newest guests, the Dinos.
Avengers.
Attempting to
Dino Avengers.
Dino Avengers and the Raptors
Well,
attempting to warm up the city and the world. Bad Rap and his 2 cronies attempt to activate every volcano to send ash into the air to insulate the planet to make it warmer. Only the combined strength of the Dino Avengers and Street Sharks is strong enough to stop this ill-informed decision, because as we learned in today's episode, ashes block out the sun, which makes it colder. You guys remember the Ice Age, don't you? So, yes, I did write that one down because this one was actually kind of interesting to me. Mostly because I think this is the first time in a while that they actually threw some like education out there.
This was
about how global warming works.
yeah. This was global warming before it was cool.
And now we know, and knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, the Street Sharks tried to warn us, and now we're reaping what we're sharking what we
Sowed.
sowed.
I think they had a missed opportunity here, really.
Only
Which
one?
one?
Well, no, for this particular episode.
Oh, okay.
This particular episode is the first time we see them in a snowy environment, right? And it hits Vision City, and they didn't make it a Christmas episode and call it a very Street Sharks Christmas.
That is a missed opportunity. One of many.
A very sharky Christmas.
A very Street Sharks Christmas.
A very Jotham Christmas.
Yeah,
oh, there it is.
Sitting right in front of you
Christmas.
idiots. It would have bit
See,
you.
this is why we needed to go back to 1993, and then we are executive producers of the Street Sharks, and I'm pretty sure we would have gotten them past season 3. We would have gotten them to season 4 or 5. Or
can you imagine? Do you think if you were applying for a new job and you listed that as part of
a
your
reference?
As your history, oh yeah, I was also a head writer for Street Sharks. Do you think anyone would be able to fact check you on that?
Oh, maybe. I wrote the title for the episode of
very sharky Christmas.
Yeah, it never aired, but I have it in my attic. Just
yeah, but we did get a music thingy again. It wasn't even. Was it a montage? Because it includes parts of the rest of the season that haven't even happened yet.
Yeah.
Oh, so
that's a montage.
Spoilers.
Yeah, it's a spoiler montage.
No, I don't even know that's a thing.
I actually I was watching it. I was doing the because I landed. So here's what happened. So I tried to watch Jimenez Tiempo Jimenez Del Taco Jimenez. But
Del Taco Jimenez.
That sounds
I'll
like
take the
that sounds like
Taco
episode
Jimenez
title.
grande size, please.
Yeah, can you go bold also?
Oh, keep going. Sorry.
Wait.
Distract.
All right. So yeah, I tried to watch it. I saw it on YouTube when I was in Nashville. So I was trying to watch it, but then it said I got a few minutes into it. And I was like, oh, this doesn't have subtitles. Great. So I got home today around 3, I feel like. And then I watched it, and then I tried to watch Street Sharks, and about 3/4 of the way through Street Sharks, I fell asleep. So I don't remember where I was going with this, but I do remember the volcano
He's falling asleep in the middle of his.
Yeah, the volcano went off, and then they did a shark dive and to reroute the lava so it didn't destroy Humongo Burger.
And then they saved Christmas.
And they say, yep, that's how I'm remembering it.
Merry Christmas, Dr.
Then that's the way we're
Paranoid.
going to end it. So that'll do it for that. There are 4 more episodes because there are 28 in the season. So there's 4 more of that. So I'm sure you guys we're counting
Hanukkah
them down
special, the New
very
Year's
quickly.
Special,
Here's the thing: is they never reach New Year, or they're like, "Oh, we'll plan this Valentine's Day special," and then it never happens.
the Kwanzaa special.
Ramadan special.
All right, so we're gonna jump over to our box office rundown. The top 10 hasn't really changed too much. There's this continuation of re-releases, so we'll just run through it really quickly. Still at number 1 is Tenet with 2.7. Hocus Pocus as a re-release for this year came in at number 2 with 1.9. New Mutants falls from 2 to now 3 with 1 million. Unhinged was 3 to now 4 with 847,000. Infidel stays at number 5. Star Wars Episode 5 Empire Strikes Back as a re-release comes in with 335,000 at number 6. Number 7 is the Broken Hearts Gallery. Number 8 is a newcomer, Professor Uncut. Number 9 is The Shortcut. And to round out the top 10 is Save Yourself with 142,000. So based on just looking at the box office, the number one film in the nation is still Tenet, and it's $45 million is what's been grossed, compared to I think $264 million worldwide. So I think a lot of movie theater chains are kind of seeing this as, even if we can keep it open, it's actually not generating enough revenue. And so there's some movie news that I came across over the last couple days. No Time to Die, the James Bond movie, was pushed to 2021 with an unknown date so far, which actually was the precursor to Cineworld, the parent company of Regal, who is the second largest movie chain in the U.S. behind AMC, closing all their theaters until further notice. How does that impact you guys? As I think you guys both are Regal card holders, right?
That's correct. Well, I am, anyways.
Yeah. Did you say? I thought you said, what was it?
Cineworld. Cineworld's the parent company for Regal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they operate a couple. There's like I want to say 127 theaters in the UK. That's owned by Cineworld as well. But yeah, they're the parent company for Regal, so they're closing everything here for the foreseeable future, starting I think on Friday.
As of then, nothing has changed because I haven't been able to go to a theater anyways.
I thought it was interesting. I looked up my my pass for the AMC A list, and it says it automatically, unless I activate it, it will stay inactive until December 1st, and then it will automatically reactivate. And I'm like, I don't think anybody's been going to theaters outside of across the street from me is the AMC. Apparently they're operating at like 25% capacity. And I'm just like, no, I'm not going anywhere near that. So some other films of note, even though most of the theaters are still going to be closed probably until the end of the year. Monster Hunters, directed by Paul Wes Anderson, is slated for December still. And then Wonder Woman is pushed. Wonder Woman 1984 was pushed to Christmas, which pushed Dune from Christmas to now October of next year.
Fuck.
Sorry. Which also joins Fast 9 in May, which joins Fast 9 in 2021, but we already knew that part. Yeah. Ben, I was also disappointed when I heard that. I was like, really? You're going to push Dune for Wonder Woman?
Well, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, that's what the slated schedule was, Wonder Woman before Dune. But fuck, man, a whole year?
Yeah, they didn't want to have two blockbusters one week after another, like stealing each other's thunder. But I was like, I don't think anything's getting released this year based on how things are going. I mean, I know that nobody follows this for any actual news, but President Trump did come down with the coronavirus. So did his press secretary, and a lot of his close cabinet members, and his wife, or the first lady, also came down with coronavirus. So yeah, there's
quick aside, because you mentioned something. You mentioned Monster Hunters, and so I was like, oh, is that like based on is that another like, Monster Hunter World game?
No, not the game.
I started looking at it.
Is it?
Yes, it's based off the game. It's Monster Hunter, David, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, you stupid idiot.
God!
It's in the title. It's in the title,
Fuck.
David.
Fuck!
But I was like, like, oh, look, who's in this? Who's in this? Tom Sizemore. Holy shit, Tom Sizemore's in a movie again.
Wait, who's Tom Sizemore?
Oh my fucking god.
Oh my gosh, Ben.
Oh my god, Ben.
Wait, who's
Says
Tom
the guy who was
Sizemore?
really mad.
A moment ago.
Wait, no, I deserve that anger now. Who's Tom Sizemore?
He was in all kinds of movies. Saving Private Ryan, Black Hawk Down. You never.
I have not seen any of those.
Jesus.
What about Mila I never know how to say her name though.
Oh wait. I know where Ben will have seen him. He was the gay trucker in the Always Sunny episode where they go to.
Oh yeah, okay. I know that one. Where they get stranded in the forest.
I know how I know Ben.
Okay. Oh, he's the gay truck. Okay. Why didn't you start off
And
with
it's
that?
like, why didn't you just start with that?
Oh, he was gonna try to rape Dennis and
Dennis and
Charlie.
Charlie.
Oh.
Yeah.
But anyways, I only
that?
brought that up because that led me down this path where it looks like there's gonna be another Borat movie. Awesome.
So, yeah.
But I'm for that now.
Also, Ron Perlman's in this one. Hellboy.
In what?
Monster Hunter.
In oh, he's
In
not.
Borat?
In Borat.
Fuck, I would be really pumped if Ron Perlman was in Borat.
So, anything else of note, guys? Like you guys noticed in the box office rundown, or any of the news that I gave you guys?
Nope. I'm just excited now for another Borat movie.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very
Isn't
nice.
it on? It's gonna be on Amazon Prime, correct?
I think so. It's on their streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
So, okay. Well, if there's nothing else for you guys, but I think it mostly comes down to the fact that they were seeing Tenet wasn't able to really recoup most of its money, so a lot of them are just cutting bait right now at this point and just saying, you know what, we'll try again next year. But yeah, Monster Hunter is apparently still coming this year, as well as Wonder Woman 1984. So some things to look forward to.
Why doesn't Regal or AMC just launch their own streaming thing where you can like buy movie tickets to watch it once and you know what I mean?
Because I guess they can't figure out a way to be able to make sure that it's not like an entire family of 5 people all watching for $20.
That's why you just
that's what happened with Mulan, right?
Security number in for each viewer.
Well, actually, it's scary because there was I think there was some sort of television manufacturer that was experimenting with that, where they had some sort of sensor that would detect how many people were in the room.
Oh, yeah. Big Brother much?
I mean, Xbox Connect can do it. So, like, if anyone has an Xbox Connect and then they start complaining about, oh, I don't want someone to be looking at me, it's like your fucking Xbox Connect, is looking at you.
Looking at you.
You stupid.
It's been looking at you. Actually, if anything, like your Alexa is probably listening to you. Your Google Home's listening to you.
Fuck you, Google.
Yeah. So
I got really mad at my Google Assistant thing or my Google Home thing because I tried to set an alarm to wake me up for this,
and it didn't.
No, it did. So I was like, Google, set alarm for this time. And it's like, okay. Normally it just says like, okay, I set an alarm for this time. And then it started talking for like 20 seconds, it felt like, about, and also if you want to try, I was like, no, shut up. I want to kind of sleep right now.
Oh yeah. It'll tell you all these other tips and tricks and stuff. I'm like,
stop.
Your alarm is brought to you by Dos and a Half 5incos.
Yeah.
You can catch them on Google Podcasts, which has been moved over from
Google. Shut up,
Music.
God.
It's also available on SoundCloud. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll just jump over to our movie of the week this week. Timecrimes, or as Ben keeps saying, Del Taco Hermanos.
Taco Jimenez.
El tiempo del taco.
Tiempo del Taco. Time for Del Taco is what that
All right, Ben, go ahead.
Un hombre se mete accidentalmente en una máquina del tiempo y viaja en el tiempo de casi una hora. Encontrarse a sí mismo será el primero de una serie de desastres de consecuencias imprevisibles. Este episodio es presentado por 5 y medio, protagonizando Ben el Guapo, Stu el Guapo y David el muy estúpido y feo.
I know what that means.
Muy populares con las chicas, pero David es muy feo. David es muy feo.
Muchas chicas.
Muchas chicas.
Screw you, Ben. I understood everything related to me.
¿Qué?
I am not ugly or stupid.
No hablo inglés.
Oh, fantastic. So he doesn't understand a single thing I'm just about to say to him.
I like how you turn on like your Telemundo announcer voice for that.
I'm assuming, Ben, you had no practice with that.
No.
That's a lie. All right. Stu, we'll go ahead and start with you. Thoughts on
On
I'm
El
not even
Tiempo,
gonna try to say it.
Tiempo Jimenez.
Yeah.
Mr. Jimenez.
Write some
Standards.
Gonna write some stand. Well, that was Hernandez. Anyways, so yeah, I liked. It was kind of like a fun mind kind of a little bit of a mind. It wasn't like Primer
Inception.
or anything like that, where it's like I just like really hard to follow. But I thought it was interesting. It was fun little kind of time travel kind of story where
Conundrum.
told from kind of like the different perspectives of the guy who's being time traveled. But yeah, it was I enjoyed it. I have a couple comments not that aren't really like against the knock against the movie. It's just like I thought it was silly that some of the things they did, but I mean it was fine. It was fine. It was
Okay. Will that be
so
reflected in your rating?
yeah, I mean I give it I give it a 7.
Okay. All right. I gotta know, Ben. How did you stumble across this film?
Buddy.
No, I actually watched this before.
Fantastic. So that's great.
Buddy.
No, but you were saying, Ben?
So I actually watched Primer before this, and I remember thinking during the movie, I'm like, wait, David, do you know what Primer is? I know, Stu, you've seen it, right? You've seen Primer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
David,
not.
I may as well have not seen it though because I still don't understand what happened in
it. So Primer is one of those movies that is kind of the gold standard in time travel logic when it comes to movies. It is, I don't even remember how long it takes place over, but I think it was a relatively short amount of time, right?
Yeah, it was like the same. I thought it was like the same day or like 24-hour span or something.
Yeah, so similar to this, but it's so fucking confusing. Like, it is one of those movies that you really have to like start drawing diagrams over because of how fucking confusing it is.
Well, speaking of which, I went onto Wikipedia and I'm reading the diagram as you're telling me, but continue.
Yeah, so it's definitely one of those movies that like
makes you think.
Yeah, it makes you think, but I didn't particularly have an entertaining or good time watching it.
It felt like homework.
Yeah, that's what it was. It felt like I'm like working to enjoy this movie, but this movie was kind of like, oh, this is kind of nice. You can you don't have to turn off your brain completely, but like you could if you wanted to, and it's still pretty enjoyable. It's there's not a lot to say about the movie. I like it. It did a lot with what little it had. It didn't have a big set, didn't have a big cast, didn't have any notable music, but it was really fun. It had a good set of rules it establishes, kind of abides by, knows exactly what it wants to achieve. And it's like one of those movies that, you get a little more on repeated viewings. You're like, oh, hey, I noticed that. Or, hey, that's kind of cool. It's like, it's not amazing, but it's still pretty good. And, it's a good foreign film pick, I think. It's I would give it like a solid like 8 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah. Well, for me, I kind of feel along the same way, but I know that a lot of times that Ben, you're always talking about payoff. Mm-hmm. For me, I felt like the payoff, it's just a little bit short. Like everything else was really, really good. I would have normally given it, if we had gotten maybe an hour and 20 in, or if they had extended a little bit more and gave us a better payoff, I feel like I would have given it an 8. But because of that, I give it a 7. Just only because it just feels like it leaves a couple of holes at the very end of like how this didn't end up having like extra different scenarios that weren't accounted for. But I do agree with you that instead of it like constantly making you question if you've caught every detail, it kind of allows the character what's his name? Hector? Is it Hector? Hector, number 1, number 2, and number 3. Yeah, and each one of them like kind of asks the questions for you while you're sitting there watching it happen. Right? He goes, "Wait, how did I get here? Oh, how did this happen? Why are you blah blah blah?" And then And then that extra payoff that you do get from watching it a second time. I didn't actually watch it all the way through a second time. I just scrolled back to the initial area, and I noticed, I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. Continuity is so key. So yeah, that it's a good movie in general. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, just kind of like where it's at. I don't know, what year is this one from? 2007?
Yeah, or 2004. I can't
Four?
remember.
I think it was
definitely. Yeah, I mean, but in general, I'm sure like the visuals didn't age very well, but I think story timeline. I think out of a lot of like the time travel stuff, I think this one was actually really, really well done based on what it is. And no, what you guys are saying about Primer, maybe I'd be interested to go see it. So I'll probably see it.
Oh, it's gonna be you're gonna exert effort. You're gonna be. You need to bring a notepad. It's gonna.
Do you think it'd be better for me to watch to read the diagram first?
Just try to watch it first.
Yeah,
okay, all right,
the diagram helps after.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely will say this was. I did enjoy Inception. I definitely enjoy this.
Inception is fucking baby time compared.
I know it's like it. Oh man, it brought up so many questions. Like I was watching it with Irene, and Irene kept asking me, she's like, "What does that mean?" I was like, let me watch this. I need to keep track of what's going on here because. And at the very end, and then she pointed out something. I was like, "Wait, does that mean that that's actually there?" And she goes, "Yeah. Just scroll back like 45 minutes." And I was like, "Oh, you can tell it actually happens. It all makes sense." But then there's one little thing. So, but yeah, 7 out of 10. Not too bad. I mean, it didn't blow it out of the water, but good time was had by all.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and we'll start with Ben. What was your favorite moment?
I think my favorite moment was it was the scene where he realizes that he is the man in the bandages. It's that whole sequence where he realizes, oh my god, this is what I have to do. He kind of is slowly piecing it together, and he's trying to put you can see like the gears turning in his head, like for that 20-minute segment where he's like trying to recreate everything that happens, and it kind of sets up his character later on to be a very observant person, and he's pretty much like going through all the motions, and he's like taking all the cues. He's like, okay, I'm over there, I have to be over here, and she has to be over there, but how do I do it? It's like this puzzle solving moment. And the best part was I think it's one of those iconic shots from this movie. It was actually how I found out about it. I saw a poster for it and I thought it looked kind of cool, where he's doing that little binocular taunt.
He tries it multiple times.
Yeah. Like, so when earlier in the film, when he's first stabbed, he's like running for his life from this man, right? He's like, oh crap, where is he? What's he gonna do? And he like tries to peek out, see where he is, and like it is creepy the first time. He's just standing there menacingly, and he stuffs this decision in his pocket, and he just slowly turns around. He knows exactly where he is, and he zooms in on him, taunting him with the binocular pose, and he just like runs scared for his life. But then the second time, it's a completely different situation. He's the one who's doing it, but he's like, wait, fuck, I know I have to do this, but where the fuck am I? Where the fuck do I do? And so you see him like getting really frustrated because he keeps doing it, and he doesn't see him running, so he just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it, and then finally he gets it, and he's like, oh fuck, at least that's over with, And it kind of sets up this whole question about like, okay, so that's all over, but we know it's not really over because there's still all this stuff that's happened. So what else is going on? So I really started liking it because it kind of ramped up at that point for me.
Okay. What about you, Stu?
So I think my favorite moment was not so much a specific moment, but it was more like how the movie was kept kind of like revealing like every little detail that happened in a previous timeline. Like it like kind of like reminds like, hey, remember this thing happened, and it cuts away to kind of like shows you what all that happened. Like for example, like when there was the one scene where that girl, the other girl, not his wife, but like the other, whoever she is, she like runs into Hector 3 and she screams, and like, because that part I had like completely forgotten about like her scream, like when he heard a scream and he ran back to the house. So there's like those little like moments like that where it's like something happened in the movie, or even like when he gets hit by he's in the white car and he gets run off the road by someone else, and like I completely forgotten that happened until they show him getting into that red car. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot he's going to be doing that. So I just like just and each time when I thought like there was no more left, there was like another one. So that was like what I enjoyed about that.
Yeah, and there was this part at the beginning of the film, like how I mentioned, on repeat viewings, there's a little more that you gain out of it. There's this one scene at the beginning that kind of sets up the whole theme of the movie that I really liked. It was it's a very small scene where he's pulling in from the grocery store, I think, and he's pulling into the house. And the shot is that it focuses on all this like shit on the ground, like it's all destroyed and mangled, and you're like, oh shit, it looks like something bad is happening, and it slowly pans up, and it reveals that it's Hector driving the car, and he just like the fucking trunk
opened, yeah,
and everything spilled out, and it was like this establishing shot that kind of sets up this theme that all this carnage and destruction, it's all caused by Hector throughout the whole movie. It was something that I just noticed this viewing.
Oh,
just
kind of like he's the one who's like causing all this because he can never like get anything right the first time. He's always like kind of like bumbling around and like kind of like accidentally falls into stuff.
If he
right?
had
like
been a creeper trying to looking at some boobies, then none of this would have happened.
Yeah, don't be a creep, Hector. Just don't be a creep.
Which I guess this kind of has reminded me of what I was thinking when I was watching the movie. Like, this is all great, this is all well and good moving forward, but how did this
happen in the first place?
What was that? How did this initially get seeded? Like, because when he's looking through, and this is spoilers, but whatever. When he's first looking through the binoculars and he sees the girl, that is done by Hector too.
Yeah.
But if he never, like, if we're starting at one point and there is no Hector 2 yet, then how did she get forced into? I don't know. This is the thing about time travel stuff.
Yes. Well, but here's the thing: is Stu, Hector 3 knows about what Hector 2 is doing, right? Because he has the walkie-talkie. He's the one who's orchestrating everything, allowing for all these things to happen. I feel like that was the part that really I was like, that's the payoff I was looking for. Is like, how did he end up in this thing in the first place? And I thought that we were going to eventually get there at the very end of the movie, when there's all these like things that line up, right? Where he, wait, are we not supposed to spoil stuff? It doesn't matter, right?
Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. This is an old movie.
So like when you get out of, when he like initially he's the first one that gets out, he's like 10 seconds ahead of the other guy. He tells the guy what's happening. He tells him, okay, this is what you need to do. Convince this guy, convince Hector 2 to go after Hector 1 to force him into the thing, and then you stop it from happening again. And then he drives the little cart all the way down. Like, it's almost like it's kind of like when you're playing a video game, right? Even though I think it's just, it applies mostly to me because I just keep dying over and over on a platformer. And then you start at the beginning of the level and you're like, all right, I got to jump over this thing. I got to go under. It's like this trial and error thing. But I agree with Stu. Like, how did he end up in there in the first place? And I thought that we were going to get that answer. And eventually at some point, all we got was, and they lived happily ever after. And he just kind of lets it happen. I was like, wow, that is.
I don't know about happily ever after, but they lived to see the next day.
Yeah, I feel bad for that girl. Like, literally, this all happened to her because she was trying to be a good person and was like, oh my God, are you okay? And this all just happened because of that.
Don't help people.
Yeah, just don't help people.
Because
also,
someone grabbing a ravine. Yeah, don't carry scissors. Don't do that.
See, here's the thing: is if she didn't want to help her friend by cutting his hair or her hair, she wouldn't have been carrying scissors, and it would have been over. It would have been fine. She would have just ran away.
See, this is why you don't help people, because then you get caught in their roundabout time travel hijinks, where you get stuck in a time loop of them killing you, and having you fall off a building and break your neck, for until eternity. So this is why you don't help people.
I think for me, that was my favorite moment, was literally when that happened. I was like, oh no, he killed his wife. And I was like, well, I guess that's it. And then when he talks about how, don't let him jump in because we couldn't accomplish what we were supposed to accomplish. Throw it away, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, dude, if anything, you screwed over that other guy who's running the plant, like, just so that way you can get back to your normal life, even though you were the one who screwed up the entire thing from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So.
Like, so you guys are talking about the lack of payoff and all that. Yeah, I agree. There's not like a really in-depth look into how all this time travel works, but I do like how the time travel kind of takes a backseat to what is going on, because you don't really try to question, like, how does this machine work, or what's that white liquid or anything. It just kind of happens. And this particular time travel, it's like it's a paradox. It's like a causality time travel paradox where one action from one timeline influences the other, and it just becomes a circle. So there's no real beginning or end to it. Mm-hmm. You're looking for, like, when is the beginning? There is no beginning. That one action happened because of a previous time loop, and that one action happened because of another previous time loop, and that action happened because of the first thing you just said. So it just is a loop. That's what I like about it. It just,
but you never know where the loop starts, though.
No, that's the thing. It doesn't stop. It doesn't end. It just is a loop. That's the thing. That's
the thing about the circle. There's no start stop to it.
Yeah.
And welcome to another episode of Dose and a Half Singles, episode number 59. This week we cover Timecrimes as part of That's What I Call Cinco's foreign movies, as well as Street Shark Season 3, episode 23. As always, before we get into that, as always, I'm your host, David. Just kidding. We won't do that to you guys. Any other thoughts, guys, before we go ahead and move over to what our movie of the week next week is?
Oh yeah, so this is one of the things it was not really a gripe against the movie, but I thought it was a funny thought to me. Like, I feel like the filmmaker or filmmakers wanted to do this really cool time travel concept where they had like the concept of like a guy holding with like his tattered old jacket with bandages all around his head with a pair of scissors, and he's like from some kind of crazy dystopian future or something, and he comes back to, like, I don't know,
Terminator.
Right, exactly. They had like this really over the top like thing in mind, but then like the producers were like, we don't have the budget for that.
It's like, but I want that guy.
But the guy, look at him. I have concept art, and he has really cool looking concept art. And he's like, all right,
he does look cool. We'll give you the jacket.
Right. We have enough money for the jacket. That's all we got.
The bandage, we can get some gauze, and we can find a jacket in the dumpster. Okay. And then everything else was just like, all right, so this is how it's actually going to go down. It's just going to be some regular jack off in his house, and he's in his backyard, and this is how it all happens.
And he's really horny. He's really horny.
If you want to show some boobs, so let's get an actress with some nice boobs, and then we'll show those on screen. Everyone's happy. Okay, bada bing, we're done.
Okay, how much money do I have for actors? Okay, we have 4. For what? You have 4 actors.
We have money.
We have $4. We'll do it for free.
But yeah, that's because like when I saw like the poster, I'm like, holy shit, that looks pretty gnarly. Like, it's a guy with like this crazy like head wrap. Like, it almost looks like,
I thought it was gonna be a horror movie.
Yeah, it looked like some kind of like clock tower shit or something. But
the first third of the movie is kind of like that, where it's like, oh shit, it's like this guy's hunting him, and then like,
because then it was like, okay, how do we get these bandages around his head? Then it's like, okay, he'll have a cut on his forehead, and she'll just wrap his whole fucking head in gauze,
and all the gauze becomes pink.
Yeah,
not just that one spot, just all of it.
And the filmmaker was like, well, I mean, this was my vision, I guess.
We'll also give you a sandwich. Okay, done.
So that was what I was thinking the whole time.
All right. Well, that's like a pretty good place to stop. So that'll pretty much do it for this one. Ben, I believe the honor is yours. What category are you picking for That's What I Call Cinco's?
I think we should actually take a break from That's What I Call Cinco's, in
what?
honor of... Hey, it's October. It's Spooktober.
October? When did that happen?
It is Spooktober.
It is right. Spooktober. And in honor of Spooktober, we should do a full month of David's favorite category of movie.
That's right. Rom-coms, romantic comedies. So
Taiwanese films.
Shitty Chinese films.
Cooking Storm.
Hail to the Emperor.
I love my neighbor Xi Jinping.
Yeah, so let's do it for horror movies. Let's see what we got here. Do you guys have any ideas off the top of your head?
Well,
actually, I guess we should kind of break here and like edit this part out. But what are we choosing?
Oh, I was gonna pick Happy Death Day.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wait. You were gonna pick a movie?
I heard Happy Death Day is good, so I want to give David the benefit of the doubt on this.
But David's probably already seen it.
I have not seen it.
Now I'm skeptical because I thought you had seen it.
No. I've heard enough about it to know. It's not like one of those where, I've never heard of it. And I Googled, hey, what is another movie like?
There's probably like a website where it's like Spook Factor, and it has like a 1 out of 10 on how scary.
Is this movie safe enough to watch with my 3-year-old son?
Scary Movie 2.
It has scary in the title.
Will this movie scare a 33-year-old man who's afraid of movies?
Wait, actually, is the Scary Movie series on the table? Just asking for a friend. Oh.
I was asking for a friend.
Okay, I'm asking. Is Scary Movie 3 on the table?
Oh, in that case, no.
Oh.
What about Star Wars Episode 3? Because that was a scarily bad movie.
No, it wasn't.
Wait, again, because we've gone down this path before. We're not doing doesn't have
no, we're just doing scary movies since it's October.
So it doesn't have to be something one of us has seen, and we're recommending it as a scary movie.
Stu, you better have some type of person who gave you a recommendation.
Damn it! I just remembered something I was going to bring up about Tiempo Jimenez.
Well, do you want to say it now and then we can edit it in?
Yeah.
Although,
so Stu, what else? What else did anybody else have? Anything else they want to bring up before we move over?
It sounded like you had something to say. Yeah. So I wanted to. I wanted to.
Stu.
Wait, what timeline is this? This is the second timeline. Okay.
And welcome to another episode of Doesn't Have Thinkers, episode 59.
So just real quick, I wanted to let Ben know that I guess he kind of got me back with this movie for what happened when I picked what's that movie? Dark City? Not Wicked. Is it Wicked City? Wicked City.
I don't even know.
Yeah, Wicked City. So when you were mentioning how like you were watching it and then like Letty walked in at like the most inopportune.
Oh my god.
So that happened to me today when I was watching.
Dog walking.
It was the scene in the beginning where like
he's peeping,
pushes his shirt up and starts like licking his nipples or something weird.
Yeah.
And like as soon as that scene came on, my sister walks through the room, and it's like, "Fuck me, why?" And then it happens again. The first scene when he's like looking through binoculars, and then she takes her shirt off, and it was like, and it just stays on her topless frame for like 10 seconds. I feel like, and
it froze.
Yeah, she just walks through the room again. I'm like, God, fuck you, Ben. Like,
I traveled 2 months into the future to deliver this.
So you got your revenge there.
Okay. El Revenjo del Ben del Taco del Tiempo
del Grande.
Del Grande.
So, all right. Well, is there anything else, guys? If not, then we'll just go ahead and move over to our movie choices for this week.
Spooktober.
This year has gone by so quickly. And so I believe, does anybody have any other choices? Because I have 2 options, and I wanted to ask you guys which one of the 2 you guys would prefer.
Lay it on us.
I want to see Us, or we can see Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard, I don't want to watch something that Ben thinks is shitty.
You thought
we-
Us was bad?
I don't know. I thought Cook Up a Storm was bad, but we still watched it.
You didn't know that going into it, though.
I know.
I didn't either. I just took the Emperor's recommended playlist.
Mandatory viewing for all Red Party members.
All right, so I guess I'll watch Us on my own, and
All right,
And-
fine. Happy Death Day. Fine.
yes. So
Yes.
next week, huh? Next week, catch us as we start off Spooktober with Happy Death Day, brought to you by yours truly. But yeah, I mean, shoot,
This is
You
where
completely
What are you
blanked.
gonna do with that? You were leading up to something.
This is the part where you say,
And welcome to another episode of Dos Nav Cinco's episode 59. I keep getting stuck in this stupid time loop.
"Oh no, we need to end the episode before we get stuck in here forever." Oh, no.
So, guys, join us next week as we cover Happy Death Day as part of Spooktober. Guys, you can catch us on Google and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube, as well as on Twitch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Guys, as always, I have been your host, David.
And I'm Stuart.
And I'm
Shut up.
6 feet apart.
Don't forget to wash your hands, stay 6 feet apart from each other, keep your Reiki Masters, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
And welcome.
Stu must be back in town. Stu, did you bring either of us chicken back?
I did, but I ate it.
Which one? Did you get to try Bojangles?
I didn't. There was no Bojangles around me. Like
Where
it was
were
all
you?
along
Tennessee?
the outskirts of. It was all on the outskirts of I guess downtown Nashville, but no, I
Ooh,
think
so you must have had some really good Nashville hot chicken.
I did have a couple good Nashville hot chicken sandwiches.
Best one you had.
Best one I had?
Mm-hmm. KFC?
No.
Popeyes?
Honestly, I don't even remember what
Ralph's.
the place was. I don't even remember what the place was called.
Vaughn's?
Stater Brothers.
Lucky's. I don't know. It's still called Lucky's out there.
The Lucky Dragon. It's fried
Yeah,
chicken.
it was called. They called it Kung Pao chicken.
Dude, if that was a sandwich, that sounds pretty good, though.
I think that's a market that needs to be explored as a
the same
Kung
market
Pao
that
chicken sandwich.
Yeah, the same market that you and I were supposed to go into, Stu. The onion pancake turned into Chipotle.
It was the Mexican. Well, let's not blow up let's not give away our IP here. But
Mexi Melt.
it was the Mexican Chinese fusion food truck.
Wait, isn't that the Dos Chinos?
So, welcome to another episode of Dos Snap Cinco's.